when you get into the class, your Moodle class, I hope you are somewhere you can be able to access your class or the subject you are teaching in the Moodle. When you are already there, as a teacher, you have the right to edit. So what you do first is you turn the editing on. So when the editing is on, you turn editing on at the top where you have the course. We have the settings menu. Where we have the settings menu, you can be able to see. Can you see my screen? Edit setting, turn editing off. Yes. Are you able to see?
Yes, we can.
Yes, you can continue.
Yes. At the top, at the corner, you turn the settings, the turn editing on. When it is on, you go to where you want to add the activity. As either maybe let us assume we are setting a cut or we are setting an end of term exam. After the topics, maybe after you have done like topic 1, 2, 3, or 4, in the fourth topic you want to set a cut, or in every topic you want to do an assessment. You want to do a quiz in every topic. After they have already learned, you want to set a quiz. So what you do, you go to the add activity chooser. We have add activity chooser where you can see my cursor. You click it there. So when you are there, you see different activities. You can be able to see there is an assignment, there is a chart, there is a choice, all those. So I have highlighted 2, which can be used to set the assessment. You can do the assignment. You can also do a quiz. There is a quiz here. So we want to try to do the 2 of them. Then I have also highlighted there is a survey which you can do at the end of the course to try to find out whether the course was successful or not. So I want us to start with the quiz. So what you do, you choose the quiz and then you add the activity. When you add that activity, this is what you will see. The dialog box there when adding a new activity. So we want to add an activity here, and the first thing you do is to give it a name. So you give it a name, and if you want to give a description, you can give it a description. So because we are doing it in topic 1, you can give it a name like a what? A cat or cat 1. Let us assume we are doing cat 1. So we call it cat 1. Or if it is an end of term exam, we are doing both. If it was an end of term exam, you want to call it an end of term exam. If you want to give it a description, then you can give it a description. Like if it is under every topic and you have called it maybe cat 1, you want to call it, to give it a description like it is topic 1 quiz. You can give it topic 1 quiz. You just type their topic. Then if you want it to display, you can choose display the description in the course page. It will display. Then under that, we have other sections, setting sections under the cut. You can expand them and set the settings depending on what you want. We have the timing, we have the grading, we have all the layout. If you want to set it at that point, you can choose this, expand it and choose as required. But if at this point you want first to continue, you can save and display. Save and display, so that now you can go to adding the questions. Remember, we have not put any questions, we are only setting. So you can save and display. I want us to save and display. We see what we see. We will see in our screen. So when you save and display, this is what you see. As we have said, we have called our cat as cat 1, and we have given it a description as topic 1 quiz. because maybe we want to measure on the topic 1. If it was a cut at week 4 or week 6 and you are testing on all the topics you have covered by then, you can give a description, or you leave the description. You can leave it so that it displays cut 1. If it is an end of term exam, you will call it end of term exam. You can leave description, or you say you give it the description the way you want, and then you continue. So here, when we are here now, we can continue editing or adding questions. Here we have the settings. Again, you can enable them to help you edit the quiz. You can click edit the quiz there, or you can go here where we have edit the quiz and click edit the quiz, so that now we start adding. So when you click edit the quiz, this is what you see. Now we are on this page where we can be able to see our quiz 1. We have no questions, have not added any questions yet, but we can continue now adding it here so that we are able to see it. The total marks by now is 00 because there is no question. So what you do, there is an add button here. There is an add button here, and when you click an add button, it tells you, it allows you either to add a new questions, or to add a question from the question bank, or to do a random questions. When you're doing it from the question bank, this is when you have you had already put the questions in your, you have questions in the data bank, that is in your question bank. When you click that, if you had set area questions, you can be able to see other questions from there which you can choose from the data bank. But because now we have no questions, then you can continue adding. When you add it, you click add a new questions, it takes you to this. You can see, you choose a question type, and I have told you we have different types of questions you can set in an exam or in a CAT. The type number 1 is the multiple choice. We have true or false. We have matching questions. We have short answers, numerical, all that. When you scroll, you'll be able to see so many questions. You have random short answers and all that. And then the description questions. So as a teacher, you can vary the kind of questions you give in one exam or in one CAT, or you can decide to use one type depending. If it is an essay question like communication skills, we usually have essays. If you want them to write an essay, you give it. It will be one type of question where they are able to type their essay and then submit. If it is a short answers question or a CAT, you are testing different topics, you can vary the questions by choosing, you can start by choosing a multiple choice questions. If we choose a multiple questions and we add, it will take us to this, where now we can type the question and then we give the choices there under. We can try by doing one question, and when you do it as a teacher, when you do it once, the question will automatically go to your question bank, so that if next time you want to set another CAT, or next year January you have another class with the same and you want to set a CAT and pick the same question, now you can get the question from the data bank. So we try it, we can do one as an example, and you can call the question name, we can call it question 1. You can do it, you can use one for Roman on the other. Then we type a question, like because we're in communication skill, we can say which of the following is a form of communication Then we have multiple choices. So for a multiple choice questions, you have to give different choices so that a student will choose. Then we have default marks there. How many marks do you want that question to carry? If 1, you choose 1. If you want it to carry 2 marks, give it 2 marks, depending on you as a teacher. Then general feedback, what is your general feedback for that question? You give your general feedback there. For example, now for our question, we have which of the following is a form of communication? So 1 mark. So general feedback, how many answers do you want? We have multiple choices which will allow you to choose multiple correct answers. But for this question, we can give maybe three choices, then one will be the correct answer. So for general feedback, you say 1, you can say only one choice, only one correct choice. Well, one correct answer. Then you go to we go to multiple, one or multiple answers. We have the ID number, you can leave it or you use it. Then we have the choices. How do you want your choices to be? What you can use A, B, C, D, or you can decide to use. Then the answer, the one correct answer. So how do you want it to appear? So we have only one answer only. Then you can shuffle the choices as the student tries. So what are our answers? The first answer will be written. Grade for the written, we can say if it is the correct answer, we give it the grade 100%. Then under feedback, we say it is the correct answer. Choice number 2, we can give a choice like letters. So what are the grade for the letters? Since it is a long answer, it will be 0. You give it a grade 0. Or none grade, yes, we give it none. Then feedback, incorrect. Choice number 3, we can say, give it telephone. For the grading, it will be none. Then it is incorrect. We can have choice number 4 as facts. Then choices, grade none. Then incorrect. So when you're done putting your choices, now you can go to save and continue editing. Save changes and continue editing. So if we save and continue editing, what will happen? It will have saved our answer, our question. If you want to edit again, you can continue editing, but now we don't want to edit again. Let us save the changes and see what will happen. So that is what will happen. We have our question 1 there, and the question reads there. So this is what you will see at your end. If you open, you will see, you will be able to check whether you have set correctly or not. Then if you want to edit, you can edit. If you want to continue, you continue adding the questions as you go on. So that is how we continue adding. We set a multiple choice question, and the marks, the default marks is there. So what can happen as a teacher, you may continue adding. the question in our quiz, like we will continue adding now, but now our new questions will not be the multiple choice again. It will be maybe a true or false question, so that you vary the question. We can add a true or false question, and we call it question 2. And the question 2, we want the answer to be either true or false. So we give a statement which will allow us to get a true or false answer. Like, for example, we can say communication is a two-way or we can say is transfer of information from one person where it is deemed complete after feedback is given. True or false? So that's a statement. Is it true or false? Again, we go through the process of giving it a marks, then the general feedback, one answer, one correct answer. Then, which is the correct answer? Is it true? The statement, is it true or false? The statement is true. So, the correct answer is true. So, feedback for the response is true. Feedback for the true response is correct. Feedback for the response which is false is incorrect. So when you are done, you save changes. You can save changes and continue editing if you feel that you want to edit something. If you don't want to edit anything, you can save. And so we have our question 2. And according to the arrangement here, we have arranged that every page will show one question. When the student open the quiz, they can be able to do one question after the other. They can't be able to see all the question at a go. One question, then they continue to question 2 like that. So that is true or false question. Tuko pamoja? Are we together? Are we?
Yes.
Just continue.
Yes.
We are
Then we
together.
continue adding another question.
Continue on.
Thank you. At least I can feel I'm not alone. Then you can add another question. Still, from our choice of question type, you can choose another type of question. Like, for example, we can choose a short answer or a matching. If the subject you're teaching can allow a matching question where you match this and this, you can do. We try a short answer question. Then under this, you add, sorry, we call it question 3. So our question 3 will be a short answer question. So you can tell them to define, or you can tell them to define or highlight. define the term feedback. Our default marks will be 2. We can give them, we can give these 2 marks. General feedback. You can give the general feedback. For example, you can.
Sorry, Anne, maybe you can get some water or something.
Yes, please.
Maybe as Anne tries to solve that, maybe you can ask a question so far.
Okay, good morning, Olina.
Good morning.
I'm James.
Yes, James.
From Teto TVC, Nyeri County.
Yes.
Assume we don't have a server in place.
Mm.
How can we have the model?
You are now your institutional one?
Yes.
Currently, you are using the regional.
Yes, I'm using the regional.
You want to have your own?
No, assume or we'll use the model from Meru National Portal.
Yeah, that one is now yours.
Okay.
I don't know whether you've seen the way it looks currently. So we are going to give you. We are going to give you all the rights. Yes.
Okay,
to manage everything. Yes. Anne, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. So we have given it default marks as 2 marks. So for the general feedback, depending on the teacher, our question was define the term feedback. So depending on the teacher or depending on the answers you expect as a teacher, you can give a general feedback whether you will allow what or what. So as the feedback here, as a general feedback, we can say 1 correct answer, or you can allow any answer that as a teacher you deem correct, so that you are able to mark it. Like for example, in our question, when it is we have asked defined feedback, it is we expect one answer, not many answers. So we can say 1 correct answer here. Then under the answers, like answer number 1, we will not have many answer. We can give 1 answer which will carry 100 marks here as the correct answer. So correct answer 1, correct, should be not correct. We say it is the answer you get from the receiver of the message sent, then this will be grade 100 and it is the correct answer. Now that we do not know the wrong answers which we may get different answers, and we may also get a statement that is not reading like mine, but you feel as a teacher is correct. So you can say here, allow correct answer. As a teacher, you will know what is the correct answer depending on what they give. Then you can save again and Save changes or save and continue editing if you feel like you want to continue editing. So we have our question 3 there, carrying 2 marks. So you can still continue adding. Sorry for that. So we can add another question before we preview as a teacher. Remember, I said that all those questions are going to the data bank. So you can still add a matching question or numerical question for those who do maths. You can add an essay questions. So as a teacher, you can be able to choose questions from here, depending on which questions you want. When you open, each question will give you the allowance of adding the kind of question you want. Like if it is a numerical question, you will get this. I have no numerical question with you will get this, and numerical questions allow you to give an error. It is called an error what? Allowance. So you can be able to add here. I don't want to add a numerical question because I don't have any in mind. I am not a numerical person. Unless somebody has one we can add. We can try a matching question together. Then you can try the other questions at your own time. So we got it, question 4. Under the question text, you can say match the following forms of communication with the channels they use, with the correct channel. default marks. If we have 3 for matching, choosing from, you can give 1 each, so you'll have 3 marks. Or 1 marks each, you can give 6 depending. General feedback, we'll have 3 correct answers. Then under the answers, you can give now the matching. We have forms. Written communication. Under written communication, you can match with telephone. Then under 2, we can say oral communication. You put with email. Let's see what will happen. Electronic, electron. With letters. And then we can save and see whether it will be, whether I've done the correct thing. So from the questions now, you can be able to view, to check the quiz. We first go back to see whether what the student will be able to see, to preview the quiz. So this is what you'll be seeing in your, the student will be seeing when they come to attempt the quiz. Our question 1 was, which of the following is a form of communication? So they can select one from there. Then we have set it in a way it will be able, they will be able to see one question per page. Then they proceed to page 2. Communication is the transfer of information from one person to the other where it is deemed complete after feedback is given. True or false, they will choose. We can go to number 3. You check again what is there for question 3. Define the term feedback, and there is a text box, a space there for the student to type. They will type their short answer there. Then next page, I want to see whether our matching question was okay, done. Yes. So match the following forms of communication with the correct channel. So for written communication, they will come here and choose which one is for written communication. Then for electronic communication, which one will be the correct answer? For oral communication, they will choose the correct answer. And then if you had those 4 questions, you can finish attempts and then continue. So as a teacher, you have not finished editing the questions or editing the quiz or the cut, because you have not set the time. How much time do you want the student to take during that exam? And how do you want it to, the settings I had highlighted to you. But still, you can continue setting many questions. From the question bank, you can choose. You can choose the numerical if you are a mathematics question, and then you can select it there and set for your student. So still on the card, we can be able to set the time where we have edit. Edit settings. And under the edit settings, we had this timing. You can now go expanding the timing. When do you want the quiz to open? We want it done tomorrow or in the afternoon. Set the date. If you enable the date to set, if you want it done in the next 2 hours, today, you can say 3rd May 2021. We want it done at 2 p.m. We can say 2 p.m. You enable that, then set when do you want the course, the quiz to close. Still, you enable and set the date, the same date, but time you want it to close maybe after 1 hour. You click 3 p.m. If it is a 30-minute start, you want it to close, then you set the time. And then the time limit, you enable and say time limit for it. You can enable and edit as you wish. Then when do you want, when time expires, do you want it to close automatically? Choose from here. Do you want to give them a grace period? Do you want them to attempt to do more than on 1 attempt? If you want them to attempt more than once, then you can also allow the questions to be shuffled so that when they are attempting the second one, the first question will not be the same questions. So you choose, as you set the settings as you want as a teacher. You can also expand the grading. How do you want the grading to be done? Again, choose, set the settings according to you as a teacher. Do you want the first attempt to take the first attempt? If you have allowed your student to take more than 1 attempt, which marks will you take? The highest for the last attempt or for the first attempt? Set these categories, set the grade to pass, mark all those. Then the layout of the questions, you can go expanding these and setting those settings according to the way you want it as a teacher. We have so many settings there. You can explore them and set them as a teacher depending on the way you want. When you are done, then you can save and display, or you can save and return to the course. If you save and return to the course, now it takes you back to the course. That is how we set a quiz. Please take your time to explore the other types of questions which I was not able to do, depending on your area of specialization. And that is how now the students will be able to see when they log into the course. When they log into the course, we have set our CAT 1 under topic 1. So under introduction, they can, when they have done this, they can be able to go and see. If you want to set it at the end of the course, like for example, now we are doing end of term exams, at the end of what they have run, the topics they have run, if they have done topics 1, 2, 3, up to 10, you can set your end of term exam as topic 11 so that they are not confused when they're trying to look for the end of term. So at topic 11, so that it starts on its own, you click there, you add an activity, call it end of term exams, then set your exam there. Question before I proceed to assignment, so that we touch on it before the time is over.
Oh, Anna, I just wanted to mention.
Yes.
That the Moodle uses the 24-hour clock, so that where you are talking about 2 p.m., it should be 14 hours.
14 hours, okay.
Yeah, and then 3 p.m. is 15 hours. So
okay.
I think that should be the correct setting. Thank you.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Take note of that. Thank you for the correction. Any other question, clarification, or notes? You can also comment on something maybe I did not touch. Remember, we are all learning. You are also experts in this. So we can help each other. Yes?
My name is Patrick.
Yes.
I'm wondering how the matching question will be, or the short answer. The matching question is if assuming that a student decide to choose one answer throughout.
Yes. For which question?
The matching question. For example, the matching question that you have, I can't remember. I think it was question number 4.
Yes.
Whereby they were to match questions with the correct answer.
Yes.
So, assuming now a student decides to choose one answer throughout in matching those answers, how the system behave?
I think the system will be able to get the correct answer when you have already set. When we were setting, we were giving the correct answer. We didn't give, there was no option for that. Where we are like question 1, we gave the question, then we were able to write take one answer and which is the correct answer. If for the matching question we did.
Maybe Anne, to help you out. Patrick, when you are going to set your class, you'll need to preview and see whether you have done all the settings correctly. But by and large, the system marks according to the criteria you give it.
Okay.
Continue, Anne.
Okay, then we can go now to assignments. I hope we are satisfied with the quiz and we can try. When we are through with the meeting, you can also try doing it on your own and try different types of questions to see whether you are able to do it. So for the assignment, this is where now you want to get a more description or a more detailed exam. Like when we set for an end of term exam, look for you can check the kind of exams we set during our end of term exam, and we type and we print. That kind of question, that kind of exam, you can still upload it in the Moodle for the student to do it. And this can only be accommodated in the assignment. So again, what you do, you go to the course, your course, Then you can turn editing on again. That is the process. When you turn editing on, you go to the location where you want your head of term to appear or where you want your assignment. There are times we give assignments in every topic, so you can add it as an assignment, as an activity. So you go to add an activity, click that so that it takes you to the activity chooser. Under the activity chooser, you can choose now the assignment here and then add. So when you add, you can give your assignment a name. Now that it is edited, you can give it an end of term exam. Then you can add a description or you leave it depending on you as a teacher. Or under the description, you can give your questions if you want them to appear there, depending on you. Then we have where we have an additional file there. Additional file there is when now you want to upload your exam. Assume you have typed an exam somewhere in a Word document and you have it saved in your desktop, and now you want to upload it as an exam. So we can use an example of mine. We can use one here. So you click the file to upload the exam. At the other end, you have an exam which you have already saved, and in your computer, and you have given instructions there for the student. So you can choose it. You can choose an exam. I want to give an example of not a detailed exam to show you how you approach. We see how we see it. So you can upload there and upload the file. When the students open that file, when the students come to do the exam, they will open that file, then they will find the instructions for the student, and then they can be able to read the instructions and do the exam. So you give the availability again, the way we have done in the other one. You choose how you want it, when you want it to be done, from which date to which date, the due date, then you can give the cutoff date. That is, if the exam is ending at 2 p.m. or on 10th, if the exam is 2 hours, starting on that May at 2 p.m., then it is taking 2 hours. The due date is still that. Taking 2 hours, it will end at 16. So for the cutoff, you can enable the cutoff and maybe allow like 10 minutes after the time 16. So that now you allow it to cut off at 16:10. And this again will depend on the teacher. So that at 16:10, the system will close down. Then you can also set a reminder when do you want the system to remind you to grade the submissions for the students. Then how do you want your student to submit that those answers for the exam. Do you want them to type there? That is the online text. When they open there, they will be able to type. Or do you want them to type elsewhere in the computer, save their document, and then submit it as a file? How do you want them to submit? So you enable whatever submission you want them to submit. And in most cases for assignment, we do the file submission, then give the maximum you want, then you give the remit. And then choose the acceptable files. What files do you want them to submit? Do you want them to submit as a document, a Word document, a PDF, a what? You choose from here as a teacher, an image or what? Then feedback type. How do you want them to get feedback? Feedback comment. Do you want when they submit, they can get a feedback comment, or how do you want it to be? Offline grading worksheet or a feedback file? You set it again as a teacher. You can go to submission of settings. How do you want submission to appear? Do you require students to click a submit button when they have already uploaded their file? Do you want them to accept the submission statement when they have already done? How do you want it to be? Choose it as a teacher. Then do you want them to submit as a group or as an individual? Then choose as a teacher. So continue choosing from the settings the way you want it to appear as a teacher. Then when you are done, you can be able to click save and display, or save and return to course to see how you have already set. That is if the exam, you had typed the exam elsewhere. There is also another option where you can type those exams there. So this is what will appear for the student. The cat is here. Then as a teacher, you'll be able to see the exam is already hidden for the students, not yet, because it is at 2. So participants are 142, no one has submitted. So when they submit, you can be able to view submission. When you view submission, you'll be able to see who, and you can grade there. There is also another way. This is what you can be able to see the students when they have submitted the file. You can see the file submission here. Then you can click it, click grade. When they submit, you'll see the file submission. As a teacher, you click grade to grade there, to grade the exam. You can still opt as a teacher if you're not giving a more detailed exam, which will require you to type in elsewhere, so that you upload it as a Word document. You can still type the question there in the description part. So you write end of term exam, and then if your question was 1 question, you can type it here. You can type it and say, let's assume it was an essay, right? Let me do it in a separate place so that you are able to see. We don't get confused on this one. We can add it as another activity, as assignment. We still call it and then under the description, now you can say, write an essay of about 250 words on COVID-19. On COVID-19. COVID-19 is our description. So say, tell it to display, and then submission. We can choose to start. We can say it starts today at 12 noon. Due date today at 14. Cutoff today at 14:10. Remind grading tomorrow at 8 a.m. Then submission. Here, I want us to choose the online, not the file submission, the online. Then the word limit, we have already given 250 words. Then feedback type. We can also give a feedback comment. Submission setting. Let the student click on the submit box, and then submit as an individual, no group setting, grading and all that. Can we save and display? We will check on the others as you set yours in case you need them. Others have already been set as a default. So when you save and display, this is what you will see at your end as a teacher. When you click to see whether there is any submission, this is what you can see. So for online text, the whole text will appear in your screen so that you can be able now to comment for the student and grade for the student. So I think that is it on assignment, unless you have any question or comment from your end.
Okay, I wanted to tell them that when you are doing you are doing the settings for the CAT or even exams, and you are not sure what each of those settings mean, there is a small question mark next to the settings, which you can always click so that it will tell you what that is all about.
So you see the end of term we have set, and we have told the description to display. It has already displayed there. So the question is already displayed. So the student, when they are on the course, they can be able to see the question already. So you can ask a question. Will you give a comment? So silence means contented. Mr. Orina?
Anne, maybe perhaps you can stop sharing so that we can be able to discuss. Fine. So first, I want to thank you on behalf of the chair of Mount Kenya region, Bwana Anderson Motembei, for your attendance in this training. It is important to note that it is an important exercise in your personal life as well as the region. And the work you're doing is great. As much as we are not appreciated as a team in terms of financial, but in terms of your profile as an employee, it is improving every day, which means that when an opportunity arises, your name is the one that is going to be known, not others who are not participating in this exercise. We also do submit these details to the national office. Once we finish a training like this one, we'll do a report and submit to the national office. And just know that your details may help you somewhere someday. So thank you, Anne, for accepting to facilitate this training. And indeed, that is the best way of, we want what we call collaborative teaching, so that we can be able to share ideas from institution to institution. Us as Meru National Polytechnic, we are always welcoming you to use our platforms, like now the Zoom meeting that has been facilitated by Meru National Polytechnic, and also, of course, the regional LMS. So I also want to appreciate Maina John as part of the team that is training, and also Mike Mawera, who is behind the regional LMS. I want to believe that for those other institutions who are not on the regional LMS, your LMSs are working properly. And after this, you'll be able to try, at least even if it is a small quiz or assignment, and be able to assess your students. Now, the expectation from here is that you are going to sharpen your skills. You try again and again, and then now you transfer the same to your trainers within your institution, so that they can be able to undertake online assessments using Moodle. We know that there are other facilities that you can use, but Moodle is the standard one, and that is why we are focusing our training there. However, maybe with the time, we will be able to show you other ways that you can be able to do assessments. But we realize that when we show people more than one tool, they get lost. So that's why we are concentrating on one at a time. Then remember to submit your attendance. There is a form that is on the chat that you can be able to just click and submit your details for attending the training. We'll be able to communicate the same to the regional chair, so that we see how it is going to go to the Kati region offices, so that it is also good to be facilitated. We will talk to him. I see whether he can be able to assist us. Even getting a small airtime is not bad as we grow together. With that, maybe I'll ask that if there is a question, a burning question, we can ask. if there's a burning question, somebody can ask. So silence means we are okay. So with those many remarks, I would wish to ask Albert Kahiro to pray for us as we close the training officially. I have not seen the chairman in, so I would have given him the opportunity to speak, but I can see the deputy principal Rumo TTI. Maybe you can say a word. So as she prepares, somebody wanted to ask a question. Boniface, you can ask a question. I can see your hand.
So yes, thank you, Rina. My question was, once we assess this dashboard on regional LMS, I think we don't have those rights to be able to engage our people. Kindly ensure that we are sorted so that we can be able now to assess that dashboard that gives us that room to work and do the managing of those classes. Thank you.
Fine. So you just send your request to that email so that the admin can be able to give you the management rights. Any other question? Yeah. So Flora. Maybe she might be having challenges to do with the microphone. Kindly, Albert, you can pray for us as we close the training. Albert has disappeared. Somebody volunteer. Or Moses from Kailo TVC, can hear your voice. Pray for us. We will share the recording to the group after it is processed. Moses. Hawa watu wote hakuna yule anajua Mungu. Yes, David, pray for us.
Yeah, we may pray. Our dear everlasting Father, your goodness and mercies, thank you for the Father that you have brought us. I want to thank you for our trainers. Thank you for this important exercise that has taken place. I will pray, King of Kings. Just as you have enabled our trainers to train us, you may also enable us to train the rest of the trainers so that the exercise can be fruitful. We thank you for our region. Be with us. Continue, King of Kings, promoting us to higher levels of glory. For this we pray, believing and trusting in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.